the council, make sure that we have our meetings on time. We have minutes from our meetings that we can publicize to the community, and that we're making progress. So Ali is a rock star, and just very, very lucky to have the opportunity to work with her as well. So you guys will all get to know Ali very well in due course. And then, as I make my way around the U.S. and around the world, obviously want to meet up in person with you wherever possible. And, we will do our best to also organize some periodic in-person things as, fits with people's schedules, so that we can really just be aligned. So the goal with the council is to create as much alignment as possible. That doesn't necessarily mean agreement. It's perfectly okay for people to, not agree or have different points of opinion. That's the beauty of having a group of people, like this. And the goal is to, find common ground and just like really stay true to the project's values. Really stay true to why we're all here. What is the purpose of the thing, and how do we ultimately make it wildly celebrated thing out there in the world, because it stayed true to itself. We're not here necessarily chasing trends. We're here, chasing freedom. We're here chasing the ability for human beings to choose their own path and not be kind of sucked into the endless data exhaust universe that kind of exists on the internet. And also to enable people to succeed in this new financial order, this new financial system called Tari. So yeah, that's just a little bit more context. And again, I think it's going to be really successful and a really fun process working with everyone on the council.
Excellent. I understand we also are going to be talking about Tari Universe today, right?
Well, let's get right into it. So Brian is here, and we have a new version of Tari Universe out, and this is the first release with many contributions from the community, including yourself, Fox, and 0x Pepe Sylvia, Catnap7, CJC0013, etc. have made very significant contributions to Tari Universe. And this is a mega release. It's a mega release. It's a release that's been building for quite some time. There's many, 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 many elements to it. I've got a whole laundry list of things. But Brian, wanted to pass the mic over to you if there's anything you want to say about this amazing release of Tari Universe.
Yeah, it's been a little while. So we did kind of get a bit of a laundry list there of different contributor PRs, which is absolutely fantastic to see. The amount of people submitting for bounties and stuff has been great. Love to see it. And then the unfortunate thing is we can only pick, more often than not, we'll only pick one per bounty. And yeah, we still ended up with quite a hefty list of things we got done. So, and already since then, I've merged in some more stuff. So we'll just start building that list for next time.
Yeah, so I'll just call out some highlights from this release. So you can connect your own node now. So if you're running your own base node, you can now point Universe at it from settings. We've improved the reliability of the bridge. So that's another major thing. We have made Universe more cleanly, it cleans up old minor and binary versions after updates, so it doesn't just slowly vampire up disk space because it's keeping old stuff around. Mining actually stays stopped when you stop it, so that's another major thing. It doesn't kind of sneakily turn back on when your computer wakes up from sleeping. The C word import now accepts words however you paste them in, so that's another just quality of life improvement. There's like tons and tons of fixes for Windows, fixes for like random crashes when people are using NVIDIA GPUs, and there's fixes for auto start and like more cleanliness oriented things. We've also upgraded Tari Core under the hood, so it's now running 5.4, and that restores macOS Node and wallet support. And then there's like a number of security patches too. So really just like a mega release of Tari Universe, and yeah, it's fantastic. So thank you to the whole community. Thank you to everyone for their patience, and thank you to Brian for you know getting this release together and making it awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brian.
No problem. And also, Black Wolf South was on docket. He's gone through the release process with me this time around. So I think right now I'm a bit of a bottleneck as a service. There was a lot of waiting just for me to come in and do a handful of things, and Black Wolf and myself went through a lot of this together this time around. So he'll also be able to contribute in the same manner moving forward.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so let's move on here. So let's talk about the difficulty algorithm update. So I know this is something that Kinkajou has been really advocating for. You know, we deeply appreciate it. So TLDR is, you know, Sphere and Kinkajou have both been like running simulations. And just want to give a huge shout out to Kinkajou for publishing their methodology on GitHub. And, you know, the results look good, you know, definitely look good. You know, but, you know, I think we just want to make sure together that, you know, the simulations are, you know, realistic and, you know, match like what will happen as best as possible on the actual like Tari chain. And you know, I know there was a question from String Handler, who has been like a massive contributor to Tari and, you know, historically member of Tari Core for many years. You know, they asked this question. You know, it's just like, is this problem like, is this the hair on fire problem for us? Like, you know, so that's something that, you know, I know Kinkajou story makeup, and you know, I've not spoken to Kinkajou about it directly, but story makeup is that perhaps believes that it is, and that's something that, you know, and again, I don't want to get into one of the key things that I want to try to do with the council is for us to be decisive. It shouldn't be this thing where we have like multiple meetings to like talk about one thing. That should be a rare bird. That shouldn't be like a common occurrence. So what I propose we do is we will, you know, Kinkajou, you have my commitment that we'll make this decision, you know, in the first council meeting on exactly what to do here, and that council meeting will happen like imminently. So Ali is going to work closely with everybody on their schedules, and get it scheduled like ASAP, so we can just like figure this out. And maybe we can also invite, you know, special guests to the council meetings as well. Like, you know, if someone wants to ask, for example, String Handler, we can see if String Handler has time. I don't know if they do, you know, but we can ask. You know, obviously they certainly care about the project, and that way we don't get caught up in like endless decision loop. The thing that's just been holding us back, and I'll take ownership of this, is just getting the council established. But now that's done. You know, council is established, so now we can move forward very aggressively and be decisive, and just like realize that we have a finite number of bullets to fire. So, you know, I will come to the table for our first council meeting with some like bigger picture ideas to discuss, and you know, like things to consider over the next 6 months, for example, for the project, and then we can, you know, evaluate together what are the things that are really like worth pursuing, what are the things not worth pursuing, and you know, based on the resources we have collectively within the community to actually like effectuate these things. And yeah, so that's the update on the difficulty algorithm update. Yeah, the other thing that's happening too is we are having more conversations with larger miners. So that's another thing that we'll discuss in the first council meeting, is balancing the needs and desires from everyday miners, people who run into our universe, which obviously is a goal of the project. We want to democratize mining and enable everyone to mine. That's why we have 4 algorithms and all of the things. But also hear perspective from people who want to make larger economic investments in the Tari ecosystem and their perspective as well. Because I think that's important. The community is comprised of many different types of people, and we're never going to make everyone happy. That's not always possible, obviously, but we should really do our very best for the project and the community as a whole. So that's the little update there. Any questions or conversation we should have about that topic from anyone?
I'm just hoping we'll be looping Impala into that mix. He's been a very active.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
absolutely,
yeah. That's a great idea. So we should definitely reach out to Impala and get Impala's feedback. They're a rock star, and we'll have many thoughts and opinions for sure on that that idea. Let's see here. Lots of things happening on the Oodle. Stan opened 3 PRs this week. So there's a wallet fix for moving funds from the L1 to the Oodle so that they don't silently fail. There's a new dashboard that he's put together showing network economics and other sort of metrics. There's a fix for the total supply number, so that there was a bug around how much XTM is getting burned. So that is something. On the L1, Sphere fixed some burn claim oriented things related to the Oodle. Want to give a shout out to Sami Rusani for patching a Rust security advisor in one of our dependencies. We updated the Minotauri libraries to 5.4, and then there are 2 more security advisories that have been queued up as bounty candidates. So that's another thing that's been going on. Let's see. We've made some updates to Tari-oriented agents. So really just want to give a huge shout out to Simon for this work. Simon's really done remarkable work around Tari agents. And so the Tari agents are now better and more responsive and handle spam better. And that's obviously in response to community feedback. So that's another thing. There's been a number of bounties that have been earned. So TZM WW earned 150k XTM for adding a history of balance changes to the Oodle wallet. VKU 2018 earned 15,000 XTM for letting you pick your default account in the Oodle wallet settings. Nikhil Singhai 005 earned 15,000 XTM for the new option to start Tari Universe and minimized in the tray. That was merged that was merged today, actually. That's merged today. And so that's another thing that we're going to talk about in the council meeting is how we manage bounties and how we can do more bounties, because right now we're a little bit constrained just by Tari core contributor bandwidth. So that'll be another major topic for the council. How do we expand bounties and expand community involvement?
Speaking of constrained by core contributors, we also need to start scaffolding up the core contributor program.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, actually, Fox, that's something I'd love your, love to work on with you very closely. And also, another person who has a lot of experience with that kind of thing is Marguerite. She's done incredible work historically in the Decred community, and just all of her experience working with Bitcoin Core over time. She's got a lot of experience, Marguerite. She really does. She's a very remarkable human.
I'm interested in looking at what you're developing. Oh, can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Sorry, I must have some lag. I was going to say, we just modernized my company's repos with this agentic workflow. So now we've got all of our designers and non-developers contributing to our code base with like auto testing and other like just really leveraging the best of AI tools right now. And so I'm really interested to see how creative the community has gotten with the Tari code base and making commits, and if there's ways we can open up to allow non-developers to, for the first time, contribute, which would be exciting. I think as a creative who started, like you said, alongside the Bitcoin core community, I never at that time was able to contribute in that way. And so I think we're in a day of age where the entire community can participate at that level.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's absolutely true. And, I think we have done some work in that regard, but, that's something that, I know Brian probably has some thoughts on in terms of how we set that up. And then, there are other things to lean on, out there, like Marguerite, another member of the Tari community historically is Wes McKinney. He's the inventor of pandas in the Python community. And Wes has created some really amazing agentic tools to support collaboration. So, for example, he's created something called RoboRev, which is sort of like automated reviews of code, like prior to PRs being opened. He's created something called Middleman, which is another tool that just enables sort of like more sort of GitHub operational things to happen within agentic workflows more efficiently. So I think that's definitely something we should collectively work on. So, and would love to learn if there's specific things that are working within Blockade from your end to enable like wider participation. I think we should like 100% lean in heavy on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the auto reviews is something we've incorporated. My brother actually, and Naveen, we talked about him a little bit, has an aerospace like rocket simulation company. And so he was the one that helped me set this all up. So undoubtedly we can look at what he's been doing, what I've been doing, and bring some of that, present some of that to the Tari community and team.
Yeah, 100. Like let's like if there are patterns that are working, like we do not need to be in a world where we're reinventing the wheel here, Like if there are patterns that are working for you, like I would argue just do it. And then we can try it. Like it doesn't we're not getting, married to a process, Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We try a different process, So I think we should kind of have a move fast mentality here as much as possible within the community and within the council. Cool. Awesome. Well, I mean, those are the topics that I had. I really want to just open it up now. If there are other topics, from yourself, Marguerite, Fox, Simon, Brian, other members of the community, we can talk about anything and everything together. So let me know if there are other topics.
Naveen, I'm curious about like our community calendar of events of non-Tari, but like more community focused building activities. Do we have anybody currently, our teammates, overseeing planning of those things, or is that a space that needs to be cultivated?
No, that definitely needs to be cultivated.
I agree. I think it needs to be cultivated, Marguerite.
Like any. All right, so maybe some like community game nights.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody has favorite games they're playing. But
community game nights would be super fun. Community like hackathons, community like just hang movie nights, like whatever. And anything and everything. Like would love your ideas on that front.
Okay, awesome. When Naveen, when is the first? I know Ali is in charge of tasking a lot of this up and scheduling meetings, but when do we think we're trying to aim for the first council meeting, and then just I'm imagining that's where we can break out some of these discussion points and then take them to the community for organization.
Yeah, totally. The goal is ASAP. So she's going to reach out, likely today, to kind of see what everyone's like schedules are like, and then I don't know if you're going to be in the. Are you going to be in Colorado? And no, you're going to be elsewhere later this month, right?
I'm going back. I'll be in Colorado starting August 1st.
August 1st. Okay. I think I might miss you. I'm gonna be there for about a week, in like towards the end of July. But that doesn't matter. We'll get our first council meeting set up ASAP, and then we can but that's a great breakout conversation to have around just community activation, and how do we engage together and hang out together as a community.
And definitely some polls, like the community that's here and the listening to the call right now, even putting out questions that we all poll to, like what are the games that people are playing or other online activities they're doing, getting a sense of that and seeing where it's naturally an interesting topic for everybody. So that's something we can just start right away.
Totally. 100%. Yep. Agree. Any other topics or questions in the moment?
There is a PR on Universe reintroducing Linux Flatpak. And we've decided that we're going to merge that. So we're going to start building Linux releases again.
Oh, I'm so excited.
The official stance is that the Linux release is community supported. So if there's bugs or anything, we're turning to you guys to fix it, or everyone. We're turning to everyone to fix it. So it will not be considered like a core Tari core supported distro, but we will be building it again, and it will be available for download again.
I'm psyched. I'm super psyched.
That's
I
awesome.
call out the Platts had a redesigned. He had some mock-ups and a new kind of comms concept for Tari.com, but I think we need him to present it. And I think where is he, in New Zealand or Australia? So I don't think he's here right now. He's probably in the middle of the night.
you know what we should normalize, I think, as a community too, because we're dealing with folks all over the world, and time zones are really hard. This time is not necessarily a good time for many people. One thing we can normalize as a community just is async presentation. So like if for example Platts in this case has a proposal they want to make to the community, like maybe in the tip process they can just submit a little video, and then we can talk about that as a group and have a very positive. I think it's very important for everyone to view every idea with a positive mindset. It's very easy just to crap on ideas, but when you start to crap on everyone's ideas, then people stop submitting ideas because they go, well, I don't want to be crapped on. It's not fun. So I think the way to do it is maybe we encourage someone like Platts to just record a little video or Loom or whatever, and then it's presented to the whole community. And then it gets added to a agenda item for a conversation like this. We can all talk about it, and then people can form their own opinions. And we have a very again, optimistic minded conversation around every idea. And then we kind of evaluate the pulse from the community on what to do with it. Something like that, might make this easier, because I am also thinking about, folks like Zhao in China, for example, not a great time zone for them either, to participate in a conversation like this. So I really want to find ways to enable and empower community members all over the world to participate, even if it's, more async.
Yeah, in fact, I would say that's one of the real strengths of the forum is you can post a video showing what it is that you've been working on and introduce the community to it, and then it can be talked about, in whatever time frame people have to do that. And I would highly encourage Platts to please post this thing, because it would be great to see what he's come up with.
Yeah, I also just want to react to OKZ's comments about the charter. So yeah, I've been working. I'm going to take full ownership over sort of lack of communication here around like the formation of the council, and sort of like the evolution of economics around the council, and sort of other elements of the council. I've been kind of working in like kind of like a silo over here, which is not great. So I want to just acknowledge that, for the community, and take full ownership of that. The goal of the council is to steward the project in a positive-minded and also open manner. And so I just want to acknowledge that, like, there were some changes that kind of happened behind the scenes. From a Tari Labs perspective and Tari Foundation perspective, we decided that really want council members to feel like owners in the protocol, and so we kind of changed the economic element. And then I've been working very hard behind the scenes to carefully think about the makeup of the council, and also connect with all the wonderful folks who are now kind of established on the council. And that was sort of happening kind of in a very kind of like sort of inconsistent way. That's on me. So going forward, I think the commitment here is that we really want the council to be community centric, and really want council members to feel like real ownership in this project as stewards and partners with the community. And we want the council to feel like something that people can really collaborate with and partner with. And we have a very like positive sum mindset and an abundance mindset with the council and with the broader community. So that's kind of where we are, and kind of how and why things landed the way they did. And I take full ownership of that and responsibility for that.
I'm definitely looking forward to being able to have a lot of these new big decisions made in the public sphere, because I think it'll make things better, because it'll get more voices involved. And it's hard to make, even if you're like the most brilliant person, making decisions in a silo just tends to result in getting disconnected from broader viewpoints that help you learn more about the community you're serving. So I think the now decision making vested in the Tari Council, let's focus on making those decisions as publicly as we can, and following the tip process as we've like laid it out. I think is going to be a big part of what generates trust in the community and continues generating trust.
I agree completely. And yeah, that's the goal. That's 100% the goal here. So yeah, thank you, OKZ, for sharing your feedback on that. Very, very appreciated, and completely agree with you. So thank you for sharing your feedback. Any other topics for today?
Oh, just one question for you, Brian. I remember seeing a little while ago a pull request to get playwright tests going for Tari Universe. Is that going through? Because that sounds really exciting for helping improve the release cadence.
That is done, merged, and in.
Awesome. For those who are not familiar, Playwright is a library that allows you to interact with a GUI and like try clicking around on things and verify that stuff happens in the way you think it does. It's a really great first QA pass that you can do from the code perspective that makes it to where you don't have to do nearly as much work with humans when testing a release.
Yeah, and that was really important for getting releases done now. especially with less people around. Previously we had been doing all of the, well, I mean, we're still doing all of the testing before release for Universe by hand. And depending on how familiar you are with kind of the testing script and what you have to click through and the different variations of things, it could take between 2 and 6 hours to do. And then as soon as someone found a bug, we'd have to fix that bug, build a new release, and then start it all over again. But with Playwright, it can give us all a little bit more confidence about a lot of things and reduce what we actually have to manually check. Now, there's still a lot of things that are in a manual checklist before release, but not as many things, which is nice. And even some of the stuff Playwright tests is still in the manual list, just because it's important to double verify and that kind of thing. But I think it is a pretty nice thing to have now. We had previously tried to do this before and could not make it function. There's just a lot of intricate moving parts, and we didn't want to mock things or break the app down into such little bits that it wasn't going to test the full process. And there's still some limitations, like we can't test GPU mining, but then we're actually running like Exenwork and stuff. We are testing mining. We're testing the different settings for mining. We're testing like process crashing and coming back up, and some of these PRs that just went out, there's now Playwright tests for, like ensuring that other variants of Exenwork and stuff aren't being killed when you shut down TU. So I think it's going to add a lot of confidence. I'm really glad it's it.
I'm super excited for that as someone who has spent a lot of time in his life writing software tests. Being able to use those over having to manually check things is always preferred, even if it's not always able to completely eliminate the need.
Agree completely. I concur, Fox. I concur. Amazing. Well, I think we don't have any other topics unless you do in the moment. And so I propose that we conclude this edition of the Tari Space, the first edition where we have the Tari Council fully formed, which is a huge milestone. So we will get the first meeting set up ASAP, and then we will continue this amazing discussion next week, and we will return to our normally scheduled time, which will be Tuesday. So we will have our next open conversation with the community next Tuesday, and then Fox will be collaborating behind the scenes with the other council members, and again, open to like evolving our process on everything and anything, right? So this is now the beginning, and I'm sure there'll be lots of changes, lots of feedback, lots of ideas. Everyone's going to come together and share their perspectives on how we can really make Tari a truly remarkable project together.
All right. Looking forward to it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great week.